come free with the duck and an eagle shooting the breeze. From paintball fields to campfire fun, you know the rowdy talk's just begun. Now kick up your feet and pour a glass. We're about to have a blast. We're the rowdy ones. We're the rowdy ones. The rowdy ones.
Bam! How about that?
I'm not gonna lie, like I always get excited to talk to you, but you know that intro is getting me into the zone, you know.
Dude, I was over there dancing, having some whiskey. I was having a good time, dude. Yeah. No, it was lights out. Lights out. Well, few big things. We have intros and outros. Hard work done by Mr. Ryan Moorhead himself, the wild man. And in my solo episode, you heard that Ryan will not be joining me until he has made a decision. Well, obviously, you can see who's sitting here with me now. So, with that being said, Ryan, welcome back. Happy to have you again.
Happy to be back. You know, it's crazy. It's already December. World Cup starts later than it ever does. It kind of truncates the whole off season, and then, you know, adding the intricacies of this off season definitely added a little more stress to the situation. But I do want to tell you, you know, I thought you did a great job on your live solo episode.
Thank you.
You know, we talk a lot, so I obviously know your feelings on things, but I thought you did a really good job of expressing yourself in that and staying professional and, you know, just letting people have an insight. And that's what this podcast is about. It's having good conversations, but it's also just giving people an insight into something that they care about, but maybe wouldn't have access to otherwise. So I applaud you
100%.
for that. And you're right. I didn't want to come on and do another episode before I had made my decision, knowing that I also wasn't going to drag it out throughout the entire off season. For me, it was hard because I know that a lot of people want to know, but, you know, I wanted to know too. And I wanted time to make the right decision. And honestly, at the end of every season, I like a little time to decompress. And before World Cup was done this year, I had zero time to decompress.
Yeah.
So, you know, between mixing with the first time in 23 years that I've actually been a true free agent to having the holidays, getting back from being away 2 weeks, you know, trying to spend as much family time as possible, but also juggling, you know, getting back to DLX, the release of a new gun, having the family time, and then trying to decide what I'm going to do with my career. And to me, it was never a question of if, it was just where. It was a shock in some ways, you know, when Sarge had the conversation with us and telling us he was ending Heat as it was. But at the same time, you know, everyone goes through stages of life and stages of interests, and he put him and his whole family put everything into this team for well over a decade. So, you know, I can't be more than thankful for what they did. And I'm never going to tell someone, you know, how to spend their time and their money. That's all hard earned. And so I respected his decision, but I know that I was nowhere close to being done, you know, and not only am I not done, but I want to really show people what I still have left in the tank. And, you know, I always give it my all, but next year I want to turn some heads, and I wanted to make sure that I made the right decision, thought about it a lot, had a lot of good discussions with trusted friends, with family, and a lot of team owners. And, you know, I did come to a decision. So that's why I'm here, and I'll be happy to tell people about it. But I do think it's important to, you know, look back. One of the hardest things for me in making the decision was really the fact that, you know, we played our last game as a team, as a family, as brothers, without knowing that it was going to be our last game. And mind you, every year when you're talking about professional sports, there's always going to be changes when you didn't win. Like, I don't expect changes out of, you know, damage or fit. You know, they both were extremely high level teams towards the end of the year, and probably met most of their goals, and they want to continue on that. But when you have the expectations of playing on a great team and you're not meeting that for, you know, your owners, your teammates, your fans, your family, there's always going to be some changes, but those changes are usually smaller here or there. When it's an entire team, it's hard because I realized that that was the last time like I will be able to play on a team with those brothers, like as a collective unit, and give our blood, sweat, tears, all our effort, know each other so innately. And I knew that any decision I made on where I was going to go, you know, was going to hurt some people, unfortunately, and not that they wouldn't be happy for me or that, but like we care about each other deeply. So, uh, no matter where, we weren't all going to be a collective again. So, I took that decision very seriously and earnestly, and I kind of wanted to shut out as much of the outside world during that time as I could. And, you know, uh, it was kind of fun. It was not fun. I was extremely stressed all the time. I had this feeling in my stomach like I did something bad. I
Yeah.
didn't, but it's just that feeling that something's wrong. Uh, and the feeling of uncertainty of what direction, I could uh, point all of my energy towards a goal. I'm a goal-oriented person, and knowing where you're going to be, what your expectations are, how you can meet them. It just puts me in the right headspace, right? So this whole time was interesting, and like I said, this was my first time being a free agent, but I guess technically it was my second time. Quick synopsis of my career. I came into the professional league on Miami Effect. I got traded to the Philly Americans. I played until that team went defunct. And so technically at the end of the 2009 season, you could argue that I was a free agent, but we were still trying to keep the Philly Americans together at that time. And eventually it got far enough along in the off season. And I mean, like, middle of January at this point in time, like now the moves are happening before the final Hornet World Cup goes, before the bunkers are cleaned or unstaked. But back then, yeah, I mean, we were still trying to make it work into January. When it started not working, like we started giving our blessings to different players to go take the opportunities they have, not miss out on them. And during that time, once a few other players started leaving, I started realizing that it probably wasn't going to happen. And, I really had one good conversation with Bart Yakimek and agreed to join Impact. Love those guys. Had a great time on that team for 4 years. And until, eventually I left with Greg Sewers and Tim Montressor to go to Heat and kind of get the band back together with a lot of my old Philly members, right? And I had a great 12 years on that team, obviously a lot of frustrations. Also won, a few series titles, back-to-back World Cups, and got to, experience hardship and glory with, all the brothers that played with me on that team, and, get to play and show off our skill set that we work so hard for in front of some of the best fans in the league. So this time was the first time, the tournament's not even over, and I know I'm not going to be a part of that same team anymore. And my options are kind of open. So yeah, I had a lot of good conversations, and I'm, I couldn't be more than grateful for the team owners that reached out to me and, shared their vision with me, and tried to, get me to go in that direction, through a lot of talks, a lot of good, I saw pluses and minuses to almost every situation. But in the end, I decided that I'm going to be on the new Houston Heat. and honestly, when Sarge first told us he was ending the team, that was the last thing that I thought was going to be a possibility. In the deeper into the off season, or into the 2-week off season that's felt like 3 years, it just started making more and more sense. And Alan Bufton's the new face owner of the team. Chris Jansen's going to be the new coach. And to me, teams are built top down from the leadership, and having conversations and hearing the visions that they put out for it made it a very entertaining offer to come and play with them. But also, like I said, I spent the last 12 years on this team, and I don't like the way we finished. It's embarrassing. It was a 7th place finish in a lot of ways. Like, I could look back, if I wasn't a part of the team, and look back and say that was in some ways a successful year because we did have a rebuilding year and we replaced 45% of the team, and we came back and finished in 7th place above teams like, Dynasty, Arsenal, other teams that, have legitimate budgets and salaries. And, we did a lot of things right, and we were very close, and but we didn't meet any of our goals. Our goals are always to win, always to be our best, to mitigate mistakes. And to me, going back to Heat was also, a chance to, finish some unfinished business and take it back to the championship caliber team it is. Make sure that the team is in good hands with a good group of people around it, so that the name that we worked so hard to build and so hard sacrificed so much to make still was looked at with the same reverence. And really, that's my goal this year. And I couldn't be more thankful for Alan. He's putting in a ton of effort to making this a super competitive roster. And I believe I'm not going to, until those moves are announced, I know, the direction of what 80% of the team looks like right now, but until those moves are announced, I'm not going to share those things. But I feel incredibly strong about our chances next year. And at the same time, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking knowing that I won't be playing with a lot of my brothers, a lot of my friends that I've played with for, 15 years plus across multiple teams. But the reality is, we didn't close a book. Now that no one passed away, no one's leaving. We just opened a new chapter, and that new chapter is empty. It's blank pages that we get to write ourselves. So, Damage is going to go into this next year. The reigning, World Cup winner, Fit's going to go in as the series champion. But every single person who's willing to sacrifice, put in the hard work, and leave every ounce of energy they have on the field has the same chance going into the next year. And, I want to leave my mark and, continue my legacy. And it's kind of, I consider myself an extremely loyal player too. So, whatever decision I made, I wanted to make sure that it was something that I was content with and happy with. And on top of all that, I have the added bonus of, getting to shoot the gun that, I've been working on developing for the last year and a half. And that means a lot to me. It also means a lot that, Adam wasn't going to force me into doing that. Like, my job wasn't on the line if I didn't. Like, he understands the value I add to the company, whether I can shoot that marker or not. But at the same time, it's mutually beneficial if I can. It's more behooving to the whole situation if I can. And it's better for the company, it's better for the team, and it's better for me that I will be shooting it next year. And I'm excited to get this next chapter written. 100%. Sometimes the hardest part is putting ink to paper and getting those first few words, but after that you can let the artistry just flow out. And that's what I'm excited about.
Dude, all well said. You're there to see a job through that was left unfinished. That's how I look at it, right? Like, you yourself is like, I'm not done. We didn't show everything we were capable of, and I'm still here to show it. So happy for you, dude. Like I said in my solo episode, not that I wasn't loyal to Heat. It was that I was loyal to my group of brothers that I had created a bond with. Right. And so, and I've told you before, where you go, I go.
Yeah. You're just going to have a few favorite teams next year,
Maybe, hopefully, maybe, who knows? But,
you'll at least have a couple teams that you enjoy. Maybe not.
I'm kind of ride or die. Like,
I know. I
will love the team. Well, I won't love the team. I'll love the person on the team, but I won't love the team.
That's fair. To me, knowing that I wasn't going to get a chance to share the field with everyone this year again, my big thing is I just want everyone to go to situations that make sense for them, that they get to showcase their skill sets. Everyone on our team had so much gas left in the tank. from the newer pickups to the veterans, like every single person can be such added benefits to other organizations. And it hurts me to see that. And obviously, I want success for the team I'm on first and foremost, but I want individual success for all of them. And more than anything, I want them to be happy, from the top of the bottom of the roster.
For sure. So kind of want to chit chat with you about, we don't have to go into the actual story. That's fine if we want to leave that out. But just to be respectful, because business matters are business matters. And I still respect Sarge and the Smith family, right? So don't want to sound like by telling their story we're putting negative light on them, right? I don't know if you want to tell the story or if you just want to.
I mean, honestly, there's not a ton of the story to tell. I mean, like I said, they put a lot of care and energy into this team. And, when he had that meeting with us after our game, he said it's just been something that he doesn't have the same passion to put in the same energy and effort that he had before. So it was going to look different. I mean, he said then that he was going to try to keep the, team name going and trying to do something and see what he could make work. But, it's I build relationships with people, and I still have a great relationship with him. And like I said, I'm never going to judge someone for making a decision that's for them. He didn't do anything with any nefarious reasons. It's just like I said, everyone has different stages in life, and I don't know the full story or what his thought process was behind it, but I know that he made the decision that was best for him, because he wouldn't have taken that lightly. He wouldn't have spent the money that he spent and developed the relationships he spent just to end it on a whim. I know that decision was hard for him to make. I mean, before he started talking with us, it was, you could see it was hard. Like but that's life. Life's hard sometimes, and you have to make decisions that aren't always, going to make people happy. You have to make decisions that are best for yourself, that are best for your family, that are best for whatever stage of life that you're in. And that was the stage that he was in. And who knows? Like, I think paintball's in his blood, and I think my guess is this is more of a hiatus for him than a complete never see me in paintball again, because it's hard to leave something you love. But that's his story to tell too. Like, he has his own open book to write, and that's for him. So like you say, like, oh, you don't have to tell the story, but I don't know the story. I don't know the full story, fair. And I don't think I ever will. I know what he told us, and some of that stuff, stays personal, and other stuff I'll freely share. But really, it's just the feeling, it was the feeling at the end. And in some ways, as much as it hurts, I mean, I would have loved to seen the group of guys we had another year of development to see what we could have done, because how tight that roster was pretty incredible. And I thought we did a lot of things better than we did years when we had more star-studded lineups. Our communication was top notch, our belief in each other, our support for each other, but the results didn't follow. So if you're not going to get more time, that's okay. And it is what it is.
Yeah, it is. So I do want to ask you, as someone that, just to bring in insight to the people that are going to listen to this, because most people will never be in this situation in their life. Sorry, I'm going to make you vulnerable, but like, what were your emotions when y'all were told?
Yeah, I mean,
what was going on through your mind? What were your emotions?
My mind was racing in so many different directions. I'll be forthright and say that I did tear up. I looked around the room and there was a lot of non-dry eyes, some that were, some that weren't. I think some people didn't take it as hard as others, but like, I was sad, frustrated, disappointed that I couldn't, that's the mark we left it on. Like, I would have, like, if the team ended after we won World Cup, that would have hurt in itself, right? Like, if we won that World Cup and the team still ended, that would have hurt, but it would have hurt for different reasons, right? Like I said, it's just unfinished business. So my head was racing a million miles a minute while instantly thinking I want to decompress from this. I would love to forget about paintball for a week or two, and knowing that I had to, jump right back in. And, a lot of teams used to reach out to me to try to pick me up in the off seasons. That quit happening because I tell people, like, listen, like, I'm not leaving, and if I'm gonna leave, I'll let you know. But like, I'm not the kind of person that bumps around. So I knew that I had to at least let people know that I was available, or else they wouldn't have. And so I'm thinking about, like, where's my next step going to be? Because right away I know, like, I'm not done. I'm not done playing paintball, but I'm not done winning yet either. I'm not even at my peak, in my opinion. Physically, you look at someone who's 40, you'd say they're definitely over the hill. They're at that. But man, life is what you make it. And I feel great. I mentally still love this game with every ounce of energy in my body. And I physically feel as good as I ever have. So, like, I knew there was never that question in my mind, like, well, maybe this. No, I as much as I loved Heat, I loved all the guys on Heat, and I'm still on Heat, so I don't know why I'm talking in past tense, but it's different now. But as much as I loved all that, I'm not going to be done because the team's done. The team wasn't me. I'm me. And
you're done when you say you're done.
And I still get to do my passion. So like I said, like, my first question on my mind was, where am I going to go next year? Like, what's that going to look like? Who's it going to be with? Thinking about all the different situations, and then having heartache too, and regret in underperformance, regret in something ending before it felt like it was time. It's literally just a bunch of emotions all swirling. It's like, I felt like I knew what it was like to be mentally unstable. I'm a very positive, very happy person, and I spent a lot of that first week, like I said, that stomach feeling, but it was more of like a depression, not a depression that I didn't like. I didn't know why it was, but I just didn't feel good. Right. Like, and that's not me. So it was hard and frustrating and exciting. Like, it was the gambit of emotions all in one. So I
roller
can't
coaster.
I can't give like a ton of clarity to what exactly it felt like. Because it was like being, at the edges of a hurricane. It was changing every second. and it was not something I'm used to. I'm used to being able to have complete control on my emotions and be pretty level-headed. And it was interesting.
Yeah. It's like I said, it was because you spoke to me shortly after that y'all got the news. And
Well, you had to know, and like, felt bad that you weren't there for it. You give a lot to be a part of this team too, and to help out wherever you can. And like, obviously, like I said, like, you couldn't come because of the doctors, but I know you wouldn't have even listened to them if you knew that this was going to happen. Right. Like,
100%.
Like we give all our effort on the field to be successful in any situation, but like, but maybe not. Maybe if we'd known it was going to end, maybe we could all given 5% more that we didn't know we had, and maybe the results end up different. And it's just always, doubt on the back of your mind of what could have been
100%.
better, what you could have done different, what you could have changed. But the reality is you can't change the past, but you have full control of the future. And, I tried my best to be forward looking, but the past dips into your head.
Yeah, for sure. And that's one of those things you just never know, right? Like, do you find out at practice when the layout drops that the team is going to disband, and you all band together and just say, let's go make this the greatest event we could ever do, right?
And obviously, like I said, it's World Cup. You always have that intention, but like,
but there's
visceral reactions are different. It's not like what effort you put in. It's just the visceral reactions. It's the way you handle news and the way you handle emotions, the different, endorphins that are pumping through your body based on different news. Those are things you don't really have control over, but do have a direct result in how you perform.
Yeah. It's one of those, if you found out before, it would either break you or make you, right? Like, it would.
And it would have probably been a mix across the roster.
Yeah. Yeah. But, so that was pretty, I don't know. I personally felt like defeated for a little
Yeah.
bit. Um, I worked so hard to get where I am inside the organization, and I'm not saying I did it for my own reasons. I'm just saying that like I put in a
You,
I
you did
put
it
in
because
a
you care,
yeah.
and you got to reap the rewards of it just for what it feels like is like a rug getting pulled out from under you, you know? It's
Yeah.
not necessarily the case, but that's what it feels like in moments like
Yeah,
that.
100%. Like, and it's one of those deals which I can only imagine, right? I've only been involved, what, 3.5 years, Ryan, roughly. And for me to feel that way, I couldn't even put myself into the place of the old guard of Heat, where it was like, these are the guys that built the team, that spent countless weekends, months, years,
Years
like
together, you know, you figure every year
years.
for 5 events, if we're going for 5 events, that's at least 10 to 12 weeks away, not including extra practices. So you're talking really a fifth of the year for 5 events. Now, mind you, we used to play multiple leagues, multiple that. So, but in just 5 events, every 5 years we play, we were together for a full year. So we
Well,
played
yeah.
years, more than years together. You know, that's how
Because you
much
did
time we.
Europe, you did
Yeah,
Asia, you did Australia, you've done all those things, and like
yeah, from 12 to 14 years, depending on who you're talking about on the team. So you
and
add
this
that
is
together, that's not like, oh, like, yeah, we were playing. No, that we were inseparable for that amount of time. You know, we shared rooms, we ate every meal together, we talked together, we watched movies together, we hung
cab
out together, we
rides,
talked,
like
we were in cars, we're playing paintball. It's that
on the
time
plane.
is there's no relief. Yeah, flying together, traveling together. There's no relief from each other, good or bad. Like it's good mostly when it's with your friends. It can be bad too if you know you struggle personality wise with someone. But the root of it is spend a lot of time and a lot of effort doing what we do and spending it together. So yeah, it's heartbreaking, but I look at things from the positive light too. And I like I said, it's nothing drastically detrimental happened, and now we all get a chance to, you know, spread our wings, show our
Yeah.
worth to different organizations, help, you know, continue to grow this game that we all love. And you never know what the future will bring, but I know it's going to bring a bunch of hungry ex-Heat players.
And that's the thing, right? Is like you're gonna you got to dig deep in these moments and find out who you really are. Um, and I've told y'all for a long time because you understand the brotherhood that I came from. And I think quite a few others did on Heat as well. And I told y'all, I was like, man, y'all have a brotherhood you don't realize. Like you have this thing. And what's funny is you have a grasp.
You
The
realize things
word
when you're in the moment of it, but you only truly appreciate them in
when it's
past
gone.
tense, I think. And that rings true across all walks of life. It's not that you don't realize it. It's just sometimes things seem like they're never going to end. You seem invincible. You seem this and that. It could be talking about anything. It could be talking about your health, right? Like you don't think about it when you wake up and you feel good. But the first
Yeah.
time you wake up and you feel like crap, all you can think about is, I wish I still felt good, right? And then as soon as you start feeling good again, that memory leaves you. So
Yeah.
yes, you don't realize it, but I know I can't speak for anyone else, but I know how incredibly grateful I am for all the things that paintball has given me, and friendships and brotherhood. I mean, it's been my life. It's made up,
Yeah.
you know, my best friends from the time I was 12 years old till now. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's been so crucial into my development into being a man and a father and a husband. It's, you know, been everything to me. So like I like to think that, you know, I have the head on my shoulders to appreciate things in the moment, but you never can fully appreciate how blessed you are until you no longer have that with you.
And I even in my brotherhood, right? I was like, you never think it's gonna end. You don't ever have that moment of like, oh, this is gonna one day end.
That's because
You don't
things don't
you
end until
don't
they do, right? So as long as it's not
well,
ending, you're thinking this can't end, but it
but
can.
you don't prepare yourself emotionally for that to end. Like it almost like right now I'm like choking back tears because it's really hard for me because it's like, man, I've lost two brotherhoods in my life and it's like shit, dude.
But I don't think you
It's
can
so hard.
prepare. You can't prepare for it
You
to end
can't.
because if you do, then you're not fully invested in the moment.
100%.
And that's what
100%.
makes it hard. Like, yeah, if you could tape yourself off, it wouldn't hurt as much, but then you wouldn't
Yeah.
care as much in the moment. The reason things hurt is because like how much you care about them. So if something doesn't hurt, it's because you didn't have the care for it. So it's like
100%.
hurt can be good.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel good, but it can be good.
It's good. It lets you feel something. I had someone tell me recently they were going through a really hard moment in their life. And I was like, bro, I'm like, hop on. I'm like, play video games with us. Just zone out. I was like, you're good, dog. You'll be around buddies. And he was like, nah, dude, I want to feel this. And I'm like, it's fair. I'm like, that's fair. You know, being able to feel those emotions and stuff just makes you really truly appreciate it for the face value and deeper value than for what it was.
Yeah.
And
In a
so
lot of ways, it's sad that now there's so many ways to distract yourself. Like, someone could be dealing with something hard and just like go into like a stupid Instagram scroll of death
doom
on social
scroll,
media.
yeah,
But that's just all ways of mentally escaping, right? And you could be just mentally escaping the grinds of normal life or something that's extremely difficult. And I think in the past, I mean, think before TVs were around, things like that. Yeah, people would jump into a book to do it, but you had to approach and tackle your issues both mentally and emotionally head on a lot more than you do now. It's easy to distract yourself from that, and I think it's important not to, because it eats away a part of your soul. You have to be able to tackle something head on, not move it to the back burner, because if it's
yeah,
something that's like emotionally distressing you, mentally distressing you, it's something that needs addressed. And if you can address it yourself, great. If you need to trust in the confidence of your friends and family, even better. And if you need to go elsewhere to work through those issues, do that, because like your own mental aptitude and and stability and happiness should come first, because if you're not, you can't give that same back to all the people that
yeah,
deserve it. And it's, like I said, it's easy to look back and regret something, or like, I'm that way. Like I'm emotional. I can sense people's emotions. I care, but like, I internalize a lot of things probably more than I should. Uh, Sometimes I think you just think that that's like, the way a man should do something, or this or that. But like, you know, it doesn't matter how you deal with it as long as it gets dealt with. The problem is, in any issue you have in life, is not dealing with it,
yeah,
hiding an issue, putting it on back burn, numbing your feelings with drugs or alcohol, or doing any of those things might be okay short term, but it's causing more issues long term. So I think it's
yeah,
important for people, as hard as it is, tackle your problems head on so that you can be a happier individual. You can be no longer in limbo, right? Put that extra work in to not be in limbo, because limbo kills you. But like knowing a direction makes people focused. I think a lot of times when you see people, people might call someone lazy or this or that, but sometimes they just don't know what direction to put their energy, and it's not that they're lazy, it's that they feel useless and they get stuck in a rut. So it's like, no matter what problem you're facing, try to attack it first. Try not to push it
yeah,
away, because it really matters for you, but it also matters for every person you interact with. Because when you're truly happy, that energy emits from you and can lift everyone else's spirits up around you. And if you're putting on a facade of happiness, you might look the same to someone that doesn't know you, but you're not
mm,
uplifting those people in the same way. And to
mhm,
make a better world, a better life, better friendships, you have to be able to help out people, and to help out
Yeah.
people, you have to help out yourself first, and you can't always do it by yourself. So lean on whoever you have to lean on to do it, right? And you know, a lot of times people are like, oh, I don't want to bother them, or I don't want to put this stress on them. But your true friends, your family, the people that love you want to help you. They don't want to see you struggle. So it hurts them more when you try to, you know, internalize it or break it down and just, you know, put it to the wayside. So I know that was probably too long and tangented, but you know me, I
No,
just talk the way my heart feels sometimes.
dude, it's you know, I just kept thinking about the situation that you know of that I had to deal with about right before the day before Thanksgiving, bro.
I know.
It's like, you know, you got to face the shit that's in front of you to get yourself out of it. And like, if you're not willing to do it, you just give up. And that is the worst case scenario you could do for you, everyone around you, everyone that loves you and cares about you. And it's the worst thing you can do for yourself. And so you got to face those situations head on. But anyways, cool. Let's hop back into it. So, you know, we have found your new home on the new Houston Heat. And
Sometimes what's old is new again.
Old is new, but this is new. This is great. This is good new, and I'm excited for the good new because, you know, here's my deal. It's not necessarily a clean slate, but it is a rewrite of the story.
See,
right?
that's what really makes me excited because, you know, I feel the weighted expectations on, you know, continuing the success and you know, I know what a lot of people's impressions are, you know, when Sarge was moving on and they heard Alan was taking it over and they're like, oh, you know, I hear things, I hear outside noise, I hear, oh, they're gonna get relegated, Heat's not Heat anymore, Heat's not this, but you know, I get to go into this new year with less expectations from everyone else, more expectations for myself, more expectations for all of my teammates, old and new, more expectations from the owners. And I get to prove out, you know, and I get to, you know, work on building something and improving people wrong. And that's motivation for me. So that's, it's the same team, but we don't have the same expectations that, you know, the old team had, but we should, because I don't play anywhere with the expectation to get second or to lose or to do this. You know, if you know, if I'm a part of a team and I'm committed into a team, I'm that way because I truly believe that as a group we can win and we can do great things and we can change the way things are played and we can make people adapt to us. So, you know, when we step on the field next year, I'm sure a lot of people are gonna say this or that or think differently, but you know, I don't care. Line up whoever you want up in front of us, and I'm ready.
I love doubters. A, they fuel my fire. B,
a pat on the back feels good every once in a while too, but I can get a little motivation from either direction.
I can get a lot of motivation from someone that doubts me. I'm like, you have no fucking idea. I'm like, you have no fucking clue.
And confidence is a tricky, fickle beast.
Right. You got to have the confidence, but you got to kill your ego at the door. That was one of the best things. Yeah, 100%.
That's the difference between confidence and cockiness.
Yes. And that was one of my favorite things over the door before we walked out and stuff. It was over the door. It was over the door. It said, kill your ego at the door. You walked out of there and you were going to go we were going to go do our business and you didn't kill your ego at the door, someone would die. Right. I mean, that was a game of life or death, right? But you know, I love doubters. I mean, they fueled me to what I've become to this day, for all my achievements, for all of the great things that I've done in my life. It's because the people that doubted me, like, and I
go both ways. I go both ways.
That.
Like, I can get just as much out of someone doubting me as someone supporting me. What doesn't help is when someone's blasé about me. You know, that's what kills me. It's like if someone doesn't put any care, if someone has enough to like hate you or be frustrated with you or love you and support you, those are just two sides of the same coin. And you could pull the same thing from that. But when you're
Yeah.
irrelevant, that has to hurt.
Yeah. If someone that should have confidence in you doesn't have confidence in you, that's a confidence killer. But if someone has, confidence but doesn't try and like caress your ego, like that's great. You need that. Be like, hey, you went out there, you did a great job, awesome job. That's not someone like caressing an ego. That's someone that just, I had faith in you to do this. Good job. You crushed
Yeah.
it.
And like
That
honestly,
is,
like as a player, like, I like juicing people up more than not. Like I have conversations with players. Like if I see something that they could improve on, the same way I hope and like when they come up and do the same to me, because that's the way we grow and get better. But like when
100%.
I get excited and I'm juicing someone up, it's not because I'm like, oh, I need to, caress their ego. It's because I'm stoked. And I want them
Yeah.
to know I'm stoked. That's just
But that's
raw
different.
emotion. I
Yeah,
know.
that's
I know.
different. That's
That's
so
what I
different,
mean.
though.
I guess
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I'm saying is I like raw
yeah, yeah.
emotion, good or bad, and I can drive off of that.
100%. 100%. No, no, no. And it's good to have that, right? It's good to have that in life with your significant other, spouse, kids, like friends. Like you got to be their number one, right? And then you got to have the people that doubt you. It is a double-edged sword, but that double-edged sword can be as sharp as you want it to be, depending on how you take both of those edges. And so, I mean, it's a very beautiful thing if you have a strong enough mind to handle it. So, with that being said, I mean, that's how I feel about those situations when I was like wakeboarding and skydiving and all that stuff. Like, I mean, I mean, people would joke around all the time when you're learning to swoop. They're like, oh, you're not ready to learn to swoop. Swooping is when you just, I'll break it down real quick. Swooping is when you have a canopy, parachute, sorry. Front risers, it would put your canopy into a dive and you turn. A lot of injuries, fatalities are actually from swooping. It's not from skydive malfunctions. It's actually operator error. And when you're learning, it's very important to practice up high and watch your altitudes and planing out and angles and stuff like that. But, when I first started learning to swoop, people were like, oh, dude, you're going to kill yourself. I was like, go fuck yourself. Watch this shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I would practice. And I worked at a drop zone. I did it for a living. And I was like, I did all this, I put all this effort into it and I loved it. And I was jumping a canopy that was not a swooping canopy. And I was out swooping people that had cross-braced canopies that were the size of a twin bed sheet. And I was out swooping them. And that's part of that deal. People are like, dude, that was fucking sick.
Mm.
And then you had the people that like come up to you and like, oh, you're going to kill yourself. And I'm like,
I would also think that person breaks down into two groups. You have the person who's saying it just to be a dick, right? But you also have the person that's saying it so that you
jealous.
look back. Well, okay, three groups. But the other group, I think, could be good intentioned. I think someone could say that there's a valid reason to tell you that just so that you understand the ramifications of it. They're not trying to stop you from doing it, but
Yes.
they're saying, hey, this is a serious thing you're doing, so take it seriously. And I don't think that's necessarily bad.
Your group 3, in my opinion, those are your friends that are saying, hey, you need to be doing this, this, and this so you don't kill yourself.
Yeah.
Not just come up to you and be like, oh, you're going to fucking kill yourself. You're going to break your femurs, your
Yeah,
back.
it's all tone. It's all tone.
Yeah. It's how you handle a situation, right? But
Tone
that
and
also
intention.
depends on and that just depends on how your mental fortitude. But, I'm sorry, and it's not a jab. Everyone is not mentally just sound. And
Well,
that's okay.
everyone's built
I know. Maybe they haven't found that yet. Maybe they haven't found that drive to make them switch into that gear
or
because
that they just
haven't.
have a different strength too. So
They do.
not everyone just hasn't found a gear. Not everyone hasn't found like a hidden talent. Sometimes it's just they don't align. We're all made
We're
in God's
different.
image, but we're different as a snowflake.
Exactly. And so I have grown so much out of my life. funny, I'm not going to take away from you.
Take away, man. I said my piece.
Funny thing about me in 8th grade, you go and do like, when you're going into before you go into high school, you take these tests and you see where your route should go and do these things and what you should kind of plan on. And I sat down with my counselor. I did all my tests, and he goes, yeah, so what do you want to do? And I'm like, I want to be a hunting and fishing guide. I was like, kind of want to have my own hunting and fishing show. I was really big into hunting and fishing, and that's never died. I did account both of those achievements of hunting and fishing guide. I have my own show in a different platform.
And you've been on some YouTube shows for hunting and fishing as well. I've seen some clips.
Yeah, and what's funny, those guys that I've been on, they actually had their own TV show, and they wanted to do their own thing with the major companies. And I've just I mean, that's kind of small, hit the check, small check mark in that box, but not fully. But
it's always time, man. Anthony Bourdain didn't become famous until he was like 45.
Right. But I mean,
do your passion. It is true. Like people set limits, people set expectations. You say about the counselor and stuff like that. Like I never even talked to any counselors growing up because I just always was like, I had so many people in my life saying, "Oh, you're good at this. You should do this. You should do this. You should do this." I was like, but I want to do this. But you're really good at that. I don't care. I don't like it. I don't love it, and I don't want to, die a slow death hating what I do. I want to, at least take the chance to pursue something that I have a true passion in, for better or worse, and see if I can make something out of it. And you telling me that, I'm good at accounting, or I'm good at this, or I should be doing this, or my tests say this. It's like, I don't care, because I'll let my heart lead me and the things I love lead me, because I really believe, especially in this day and age, there's a lot more opportunities than there's ever been. For as many problems in the world as people see, there's, we probably live in the easiest time in general that's ever existed, and take that for what it's worth and get everything you can out of it. Because for all we know, and what I assume, we get one life, one chance. We're stuck on, a truncated time frame across the whole story of it. So why be normal? Why meet expectations? Because expectations came from somewhere too. It's just the collective of a group. And there's a reason America is not a true democracy, tyranny of the majority, right? What everyone else does doesn't mean that it's right. There was times where everything bad in the world was okay almost, right? But things change, right? So do what you truly want to do. At least take the chance to do it, especially if you're young and don't have a family. Don't think that you have to abide by these structural norms and societal norms of when exactly you should do something, because I really believe that if you have a true passion for something and put effort into it, you can make it work. You might not be as successful in it as someone else. You might not be as successful in it as you would be at something else, but you can make it work for you. And if you make something that you love work for you, you'll be happier than if something works out greatly that you didn't love.
Yep. 100%. You know what that counselor told me to do? That work guide counselor?
I don't.
He told me, he goes, those aren't realistic. Straight up to my face. He goes, those aren't realistic. He goes, by this, you'd be a better...
Mind you, he was a middle school counselor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying taking anything away from it. Everyone has to do every job, right? Or else our society would collapse. But to tell me something's not realistic when you're trying to crush an 8th grader's dreams, I don't like that,
Yeah,
just because it wasn't realistic for him, and I guarantee he didn't do it didn't work out for him what his dream was when he was a kid, whether it was like to be a professional athlete or an astronaut or whatever his dream was, right? Just because his dream didn't work out, he's putting it in the mind of young, impressionable kids that their dreams won't work out. And it takes a strong individual to say, screw you, I will do what I want. But how many kids did, went away from their passion because someone like that tells them, right?
Told them.
And
Yeah.
I'm not saying you shouldn't listen when people are being reasonable and telling you like it's a risk, because things are risks for sure. But no one has answers. And the older you get, the more you realize that you're just an older version of someone without answers. You still have the same questions in your mind. You still struggle with the same things. You might have more knowledge about one thing, but less about others, right? Like young kids have better technology minds than a lot of us these days. But that's just, that goes with ebbs and flows. So realize that the person telling you something didn't have all the answers either.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they don't have any of the answers and that you shouldn't take advice, but no one has all the answers, and no one has all the answers for you, because they don't know what your heart thinks, what your mind wants.
He did not have a clue on the answers. You know what he told me I should go look at doing? He said I would be more fitted to be a trash man.
It's kind of funny. Who tells an 8th grader they should be a trash man? Why?
Because I guess I wanted to be outdoors.
I was thinking like, no, maybe you didn't, bad smells didn't bother you.
Dude,
bad smells. If I was a trash man, I'd be gagging the whole time.
I'd be so bad. I'd be the worst trash man in the world, dog. You couldn't pay me enough. Couldn't do it.
Taking out my daughter's, like, when she was younger, her diaper bag, like, full of poop in it. It literally, like, I'm like fighting throwing up every time I did it. I'm like, whoop, whoop.
I told Natalie, I said, when we start having kids, I said, I guarantee you I'm breaking out my gas mask. Like, straight up mirror filters, like Darth Vader in this.
Some's not as bad as other. The fresh stuff, I don't know what it is, because it's your kid, whatever. You can just deal with it real quick, bam, bam, bam. But the stuff that sits in like a little trash bag for a bit, no good.
I ain't trusting it. Gas mask.
That's the safest. That's the safest route,
dude. 100%. She laughs. I'm like, you think I'm joking? She goes, I know you're not joking. I was like, this child is gonna be terrified the first time I strap on the gas.
Actually, the thing is kids don't have those fears, right? So you'll just make that normal for them early.
Yeah.
Kids aren't born with fears.
So I gotta walk around. I gotta walk around with nods and gas masks.
But for real, like, kids aren't born with fears. They're not born with doubt. They're not born with any of that. We teach kids bad habits. We also teach them good habits, and we teach them, societal norms and a lot of good things. But like, kids are fearless.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's two fears they have. I think being alone in the, it's like heights they're naturally afraid of, and there's one other one I'm not thinking. Every other one,
probably being alone.
It might be being alone. It's not dark.
It would be. No, I think being alone
makes the most sense.
Be a big fear for a kid.
Yeah, they don't love it.
No. So let's rewind this to some paintball stuff.
That's not how this show goes. We do a lot of paintball, but a lot of non-paintball.
Yeah, but everyone wants to hear the juice.
I know. Before you rewind it, though, let's say our next 2 episodes will not, or at least one of them. We have 2 episodes that aren't paintball related coming up. I know you talked about it in your live episode, but not everyone watches every episode, even though they should. You should like and subscribe. I'll pull a howl right now. Bam, bam, bam. We're trying to grow. But for real, like, I'm excited about 2 of our next episodes. One's more of a, story of an up and coming dreamer who's trying to pursue his passions. And the other is a group of outstanding men that are trying to tackle a problem in the world. So I think even though they're not paintball, I think it's easy to relate a lot of things in life to paintball, to situations, but it's also, I just like getting unique perspectives from people. So I'm excited for when those episodes come out as well.
I'm pumped. We are ready to release. I was ready to release, but also I know everyone's on the edge of their seat wanting to
no one
know.
wants to see that when they want to hear paintball news. I know.
So it's like, and I also want to give their stories a chance, right?
I do too.
So it's like, while we have to pump brakes, pause, delay their episodes, bless their hearts, they're awesome people.
Do you let them know? Yeah, told them why.
Yeah. And so, hopefully this one comes out fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Have to get a blessing, but
No, it'll come out soon.
well, obviously,
Soon, just as whether it's tomorrow morning or tomorrow night, probably.
I'm down for now. Be like,
I know you are.
Hey, Alex, just so you know, I'm just kidding. But no, yeah. So I wanted to wait because I wanted their stories to have full impact, right?
Mhm.
Like, it's not fair for them to spend the time with us and then drop a story and then it not get the traction because everyone only wants to hear about the story, the like paintball story, right? Like, get the juice. It's like The Interview. You remember that scene in the beginning when James Franco and Seth Rogen are together? He's like, we can't do this Kim Jong-un thing. He's like, yeah, we can. We're the people. Give us the shit. Manja, manja, manja. It's like, that's
That's
what
an
it is,
underrated
right?
movie.
Dude, it's so good. I
So
watch that
funny.
at least once a month. Love it. Love it. You asked me a long time ago what's some of my favorite movies. That is probably one of my favorite comedies.
It's good. I appreciate it when it came out too. I feel like it was on the edge of probably not happening.
Well, what was crazy was like Kim Jong-un threatened the U.S. if they put it in theaters, and that's how. No. He like straight
No,
up.
I know he does.
But
The same way an ant threatens a polar bear.
Yeah, but little fat roly poly man, penis bowl cut, it's fair dinkum. No, but but and so Netflix was like, we will buy this film, and then they still own it, dude. It's so good. I'm like, yes. But back to the paintball juice. As someone who's a free agent, you sit there, you're looking at the board of options that you have. It's not only just like, it's not like you were let go, it's a whole team let go. And it was this thing that is going on. I know some of the finer details of your inner workings and what you wanted and hoped and things like that. But like, I kind of want to dig into like, when you're looking at that board of options and you're like, here's the positives, negatives, this stuff can cross over back and forth. Like, what is really like, what's going on in your mind? Because not many people experience that in life, and like people like just I think it's interesting then for people to try and relate, to try and share those things. I think it's very interesting. Could you kind of go through that process?
Yeah. I guess first I'd like to say like it's almost easier if you are just cut or if you
By
just
yourself,
leave. If it's
right?
a one person deal, it's like now
Yeah.
I'm just thinking for myself. Like, I don't know, everyone's different, but like, I think a lot about everyone else and how my decision affects them too. So that played a lot into my decision making. But also you have to realize that it's all a two-way street, right? You have to be wanted and you have to want to go somewhere. And I was blessed, to make a lot of good relationships and I think prove my worth over my career. So I had some options. And that makes it easier and harder too, because the more options you have, the more, you got to look at it. And the more people you feel like you're letting down when you turn down them to go somewhere else. I could say like I made like a swap board with strengths and weaknesses and all that, but I don't do those kind of things. Like, yeah, I think about them. I think more so for me, the way my brain works, I kind of try to internalize what it would be like to accept something, how I would feel once I did it. And with the accepting something, I go through and fully internalize, the calls I have to make, letting people know, turning people down. I do all that. And I try to look at how I feel running through those different situations in my head. Right. And you're never going to hit one that you're like, oh, that was all great. But but you do finally settle on something that, is good for both parties first and foremost, because, I don't want to be a drain on anything. I want to be an asset. But you also have to make sure you settle on something that you're happy about. And when I say settle, I don't mean like, oh, I'm conceding to this. I mean, the dust settles and this is what it is. So I was using settle in a different way, and I wanted to clarify that, because I am not settling. I made my decision, and I'm happy with my decision, and I can't wait to win with Houston Heat. But when you're going through that decision-making process, like for me, it's a lot like how I'll feel when I make the decision, how other people will feel. And then I start, thinking about the things I can get excited about it with it. I try to think about the negatives and what that they can bring. And then I try to think about, are those actually negatives, or am I trying to, argue myself out of something? Every person and every situation is unique, as well as every offer is unique. So, the way you think about those are all going to be different. And I'm never going to go into any detail about any conversation I had with anyone. And the same thing, I tell people all the time, like, I give all the credit in the world to a player like Mouse, who's maximized his revenue over his career. He's a fantastic player, one of the best that has ever done it. And he made sure that he got what he thought it was worth, leveraged his skill against making money. I've been blessed to, make money playing paintball for a long time, but I've never tried to maximize my revenue in that way. So like, I don't ever leverage an offer against that. Like, I'm making my decision all encompassing, and I make my decision and I'll move on from it from there. Right. Like, I don't try to bring those every conversation that I have with someone is confidential in my mind, right? Until they prove otherwise and let go and break my trust. But outside of that, like, the conversations I have stay internalized. I try to be as forefront with people as I can. And I trust my judgment on character more than anything, right?
Yeah.
So when I have conversations, I have to feel comfortable with the person that I'm going to be working with the people that I'm going to be working with, because those relationships matter. And not only do they matter, but they might matter more than anything else, more than numbers, more than situation, more than where you're going to play or the sponsors you're going to have. It's the relationships you build, because if you start something not in trust or out of, ubiquitous, like nefarious feeling or something like that, that's always going to be in the background, right? Like, if you start something on a lie, or you leverage something that you shouldn't have, that's always on the background of, if not your mind, their mind, someone's mind, right? So I try to be forefront with people, honest with people. And then the most important thing to me is judging characters. And yes, I've known a lot of these people for a long time, but that doesn't mean you've worked with them. So, I like just having discussions, getting to know people more, seeing what they want, what direction they want. And I put a lot of faith into my ability to judge character.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Obviously, I bothered you every day. I was riding the roller coaster with you. We had a lot of conversations. Bless you for putting up with me. Now this is 2 years you've had to do that in a row. This one was thankfully shorter than last year.
Yeah, last year was more rumor induced. Applications for you.
But it's like I said, it's just it's not me worrying for myself. It's worrying for me about my brothers, and also like completely checking in and being in there and being in those moments with them and making sure they're good. And hey, I might not have information on this, but I'm an open ear for you if you need to talk about anything. And it's like I'm riding the mini roller coaster off the side, and you're riding the big old Texas giant, old
for what
rickety,
it's worth.
Like,
I know every time I get a call from you, it's because you care. And that means a lot to me.
Yeah. And it is, right? Like,
Even
but
when you call me and I answer and you're like, oh, I don't really know why I was calling you. I just talked to you 10 minutes ago, Alex. Even then, I know that you
it,
reached out because you care, and that means a lot.
yeah, it's, also, I'm pretty sure I have some pretty good TBI going on in my noggin. So I do forget a lot of times. I'm like, I called you for yesterday.
Today.
No,
Well, which
yesterday.
time?
It was yesterday when I called you to invite you on a spring snow goose hunt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I have no idea why I called you.
And then you called me 20 minutes before we had our podcast to ask me what hotel I'm staying at for Ronnie's wedding in the spring.
Well, I wanted to stay at the hotel
Or this
you
morning,
and your family are.
I was just like, I haven't planned anything yet. I've been dealing
I'm
with
a
a lot of
planner.
other things. I've
I'm
been
a
dealing with
planner.
I've been dealing with a lot of other things.
No shit, I know.
Then you also called me today when you meant to call your dad, so you do have to call me daddy from now on.
I like it when they call me Big Papa. Throw your hands in the air if you a true player. Yeah. So I mean that does happen.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
And I guarantee
That's what
you
makes
it's
us all
TBI.
unique. That's what we're all unique.
Hey, don't be insinuating.
Well, I wasn't insinuating anything. I'll tell you anything. Did you making fun of my hard nose? My daughter pokes and goes, "Oh, it's as hard as a rock."
Dude, mine feels weird after surgery.
I bet.
Oh, dude, it feels like it's gonna break. Like you do this, and you're like, "Oh, my nose is gonna break."
Mine only breaks on hard hits, but it breaks on almost every hard hit.
Well, I just had like a massive reconstruction, so I don't know. I don't know like what's going on with this thing.
You probably shouldn't be cranking on it.
Great dog. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for this year. I do hope I can find a home with Alan in the new Houston Heat. I would love to do. We kind of talked about it before. What I would really like to try and do. We'll see. But my fingers are crossed. I don't want to leave this. I don't want to be out of this. I mean, I know I won't be out of it, but it's like it's not the same. Like
nothing's ever the same.
No. Being at like events, like there's nothing that can replace that. And so I hope, fingers crossed, like, Alan would have me in the pits or whatever it may be, to help. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, the future is bright, and the future is what you make of it. So there's no telling. I mean, it's new but old. It's old but new, and it is this beautiful journey that we get to go ride the roller coaster on, right? Like we get to go ride this ride. Like it's a new but old slate. And so it's more new than old if you think about it, right? But it's still a legacy, right? And it's a matter of pick up your sword and shield and go forth and conquer. So I'm really excited about the journey. I'm really excited about and I told you from the beginning, I was like, I'm really excited to get to see you write a new chapter. And I'm just blessed to be along for the ride. So, and I know nothing is hard. It's a lot. I know nothing is easy, especially when you have a family, old teammates. Like you're trying to figure this all out, and you're like, how do I go about this? Where do I go from here? How do we do this? And how do we do it in a beautiful, eloquent form, in the most proper way we can?
And that was hard for me. One thing that helped me is, I started this without anyone to. And I'm not saying I'm without anyone here, but like I started paintball because I love paintball and I want to continue to do paintball. So
Yeah.
it wasn't like a zero sum game in that aspect, right? Like I've been on a lot of different teams with a lot of different group of men that I've grown the utmost respect for. And as hard as
Yeah.
it is to walk away from, and if it's a true friendship, you know, that won't change after you're
No.
not on the field together. And if it's not a true friendship, then you shouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, 100% right. And it's like I've told everyone that I've spoken to, it's, the words have been, I love you, I'm proud of you. And no matter what you do, you're going to go do greatness. And I don't say things I don't mean, and you know that more than anybody else. If I say it, it is coming from the deepest, like purest part of my heart.
You got some pure spots left?
I do. I got a lot.
I know you do.
It's hardened, but it ain't
callous, but pure.
It's tough like a turtle shell, but once you get inside, it's a soft son bitch. But everyone that was involved in Heat that I've gotten to be introduced to and met through that or the old side, I'm just so grateful beyond words. Like words will never put that in place, and words can't. And I know it's the same for you, but like it's exciting. It's exciting, something new. Like, because this is new, something new is as great as you make it. And if you start out great, you got such a beautiful uphill climb. And it's worth every bit of sweat, tears, hard work, time, like whatever you put into it. It's worth it if you believe in it. And if y'all believe in it, and then I'm there with you. I'm ride or die. And I'm really excited. And seeing something new, I think the new ownership, even for Alan, right? Like even for Alan, I think this is a new start for him. I think this is a new beginning for him where he gets to write his new chapter and he gets to do this great thing where he's like, okay, this is going to be different. And I think it's going to be great.
And every person on the team, from ownership to coaching to every individual player, will have their own motivations, but also a collective motivation. And it's like a book of a bunch of short stories that we all get to put ours together and make something epic.
100%. And so I'm really excited. I'm really excited for the new Heat. I'm really excited for all the individual players wherever they end up. It's not that I'm going to have a new favorite team. It's going to be like, you're still my boy and I want the best for you. So I'm super pumped. And this year's going to be interesting. It's very fast and interesting 2 weeks after. I mean, there's so much crazy shit. There's more crazier shit that happened this year than there was last year. And last year was wild. Like it's pretty insane. So, I think, this is going to be a really cool year. And no matter what happens, just show up and give it your all and just love every moment that you have.
Shit, how that's all I know.
That's it, baby. Do you have more to chime in on?
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
We have plenty of hours of episodes left,
I know. I do want to say this, just because it's been heavy on my heart and I felt like I missed the mark. If you're ever having a very hard time with what I went through the day before Thanksgiving, if you ever have, you're having a hard time and you feel like you have no one to talk to or do, like you feel like there's no one on your side. Sorry, guys, I'm getting choked up. I lost a friend who decided to opt out the day before Thanksgiving. And it's just been heavy on my heart. If anybody needs someone to talk to or be there for, or have someone listen, advice, or anything, feel free to please reach out to me. If you feel like there's no one there, I'm here for you. I will be happy to listen to you. If there's any kind of advice or something, just know that you're not alone. Pardon me, guys. Jeez. It's just been very heavy on my heart for the past 6 days. But
It's
you're
a
never
hard topic to talk about. And, you know,
Yeah.
when someone makes that decision, I could only imagine, because it's a feeling of hopelessness that no one cares. But man, I really believe if they could see the waves and the repercussions and the feelings that people have after the fact, that no one would choose to do something so selfish. You know, our lives aren't just our own. They're everyone that, you know, everyone that we've ever interacted with. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Is like, if you're going through those hard times and you have those thoughts or those moments, just know you're not alone in that. I know you probably, I mean, I'll be honest. There's moments in my life where I felt like I was just alone and beside myself, and I wasn't, and and I'm thankful that I'm still here, obviously. But what I'm trying to say is that, like, no matter what, if you need someone to talk to, you need someone to reach out, just someone that's not going, just if you just need someone to listen to, or someone to listen to you or what you have to say, just know you're always welcome to reach out to me. I'm readily available on my personal account and the Rowdy ones. I just want everyone that listens to know that you are not alone. And if you're here on this earth, I love you.
And not only are you not alone, but you're special. We're all uniquely special. And I truly believe that we all have a purpose, and multifaceted purposes. And, you know, you don't understand how much you can touch someone's life and how much you can positively affect the world from one interaction. So you know, no matter how hard something feels, you can get through it. And like I said, the past will always leave echoes on your soul, but the future is open-ended. So it's a disservice to yourself and everyone that cares about you. Even in an instance where you feel that no one cares about you, there's always someone that cares about you more than you'll ever really understand. And you know, reach out to people. And that's, it kind of touches, you know, when I was talking earlier about, you know, situations that weren't nearly as serious, but it's about, you know, not internalizing things, you know, speaking out when you're having problems, you know, being open about it, because sometimes it's as simple as talking through something. Sometimes it's as simple as, you know, just getting a hug from someone that you care about. Just sometimes it's as simple as, you know, seeing a nice sunset, or just realizing that life is very fragile. It's fickle, but it's pretty spectacular too.
Yeah, and you never know who you really have impacted in life, and maybe those people aren't even able to say thank you. And so, anyways, just wanted to say you're not alone. If you ever need to talk to someone, I'm always here for you. And not to bring this show down, it was just heavy on my heart. And anybody I can help, I want to help. So be an outlet for, or a resource. So with that being said, Mr. Brian Moorhead is part of the new Houston Heat, and he is I'm really excited to see what you get to bring to this organization, because I know you are absolutely, like, you're a great leader. You're someone who is very driven, positive, you push people into the best zones that they can be in. And I'm very, very excited to see what you get to bring to this team. You just have that leadership, and you just have that instilled in you. And I'm really, really excited to see where it goes and how it's a blessing to other people and how it's a blessing to this team and Alan as an owner to be able to have finally have, because am I correct? I'm not trying to misspeak, so don't crucify me. As Alan's only owned like pretty much Energy Elite and Brooklyn Bears, correct?
Yeah, it's always been the Energy Elite crew,
Yeah.
and then he merged with Brooklyn Bears for that year.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was a
know.
merge.
That's my my fault, but I don't know his like divisional story and exactly
Right.
how it came to be. But as far as pro, yeah.
But like to start getting high caliber, like really top tier players, people that have been veterans in the league, because that he always picked up some newer pros and stuff like that and tried to grow from that. And I'm really excited to see what it can do with someone that comes in from a top tier and start like helping new growth and younger. And like, I'm really, really excited to see how this turns out this year.
It's interesting because every team is an eclectic mix of something, right? And every established player now wasn't established at one point in time.
Right.
Every new player now has the potential to be great if they have the skill set and drive to do so. So, I've seen superstar teams not do well, and I've seen teams without superstars succeed. It really comes down to the group and the trust that you can form early on and how you build upon that. Start with a strong foundation, and you can build something pretty impressive. So I just want to start doing things the right way from that. And I appreciate the kind words you said about me and leadership and stuff, but it's a new team, and honestly, I don't think leadership's something that can be handed down or given to someone. I think it can only be earned through respect from your peers, and however that shakes out, it shakes out the right way for that group of people. So I'm just excited to be, a small part that can do a big part for the team.
Yeah. It's one of those moments where it's like, all right, are we all in or are we all folding? Like, what are we going to do from here? And it should always be all in. So it's how bad do you want it? Right. And if everyone buys into it and you have the respect and the drive and the desire to win, you will be. I mean, look at Fit. The first year they came into the professional league.
That's right? Not true.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it is in a sense, but they had played a full professional year, the majority of that group as AC Dallas, and didn't do that well. So they had some experience before they went back, earned their stripe, put in the effort, got more experience, and then came back and were successful. So, like I said, fair. Like your first showing in something isn't always
the strongest,
the be all end all. No, it's just not always the be all end all.
That's fair.
It's growth. It's growth in everything.
100%. With that being said, I'm really excited for this year. I'm super pumped, and I'm ready to see what the future holds. So,
see some trophies and some champagne showers, baby.
Dude, I'm down to clown. You know me. I'm good for it.
And I see the Lux Air shooting a ton of people next year.
Mobbing. Just mobbing, baby. Hell yeah, dude. Well, thank you for making time to make this
can't thank me. Podcast. It's our show as we're together.
There's also been a lot of time away from family, a lot of time inside of your own head, and to be able to come on right after is it's a lot. So you can't tell me I can't say thank you. I can too, because it takes a lot, right? You could have spent
you're very welcome, man. And
thank you.
And I understand that I would have liked to have spent this night with family and not thought about paintball for a little bit, because I haven't had a break since that. But the truth of the matter is it's like, it's not just for you. It's for everyone that cares, and it's a disservice for anybody that cares to listen, to care, to know. And it's, I think, my responsibility to make time to tell and to share.
I don't even think it's your responsibility. I think it's your care for the community, fans, friends. Like, I think it's your heart. I don't think it's necessarily your responsibility, because you don't have to. I think it's because you have the heart and mind to care about other people.
Tomato,
That's my
tomato.
take.
Tomato.
Not really.
I agree with you, but I feel that's my responsibility, because that's what I care about.
Yeah, because you care.
Yeah, that's what I said. Tomato.
Get the hell out of here. With that being said, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much.
Now they get to hear the good outro too,
dude. I just
and actually
hang out for the outro. What's up, dog?
And if you hate the outro or the intro, tell me. I can take constructive criticism pretty well. But I actually like it, and I think it's pretty catchy.
I'm gonna put a plug on this. So with that being said, you can find us on the Rowdy Ones Instagram. You can find us in the Rowdy Ones Discord. Follow us on the Rowdy Ones podcast YouTube, and make sure to check out our Spotify. With that being said, let's bump it back to some dad advice, Ryan. We haven't done this in a while with you. Let's get it, dog.
I guess I'll go to what's been on my heart lately is, realize that every decision you make impacts everyone around you. So take all that into account, but make the right decision for you, because happy you is happy. It will show through the rest of your life. So, if I wasn't happy and content with any of my decisions, I wouldn't be as present as a dad or a husband or a friend, son. And that's important. So realize, take decisions seriously, but weigh the pros and cons, and try to make it soundly and firmly.
Oh yeah, dude. With that being said, catch us on the next one. We have 2 more episodes that are going to be non-paintball coming up. They're going to be awesome episodes. Give them a shot. I will say one is very serious, but very humbling and heartfelt. And the other one is someone else that is inspiring and chasing his dreams as a musician. And it is to be able to support, even just listen and be able to listen to their story and support them by listening, or listening to the people. That is the more serious one. This is their passion, right? To give those stories a chance and hear their stories, I think is very crucial, because they're very important, because I think we've all been there. And, I think everyone in one point in their life, if not their whole life, has wanted to have their story heard. So with it not being paintball, I know it's not paintball, but it's still, they're both really great stories.
And they both have played paintball before, so chalk it up. It's paintball.
They have, but that's not why we brought them on.
That's true.
That's true. With that being said, you ready for the sick outro, Ryan?
I've never seen it.
Well, the whiskey's low and the story's all done, but we sure had ourselves some fun. From tall tales told to the last good pun, you've been rolling with the Rowdy Ones. Thanks for listening, y'all.